What's going on, Virgo? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a great week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, shares, donations. Your support really is just the best, Virgo, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. You are in for an amazing journey. Now, the theme of this week's monthly spread is going to be business, Virgo, and we're going to make moguls out of you and have you make it rain in no time. And yeah, we're going over the top, Virgo. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems are, I'm just making so many friends. The perks of knowing someone with a geology background. And as you can see, I've changed up the space here a little bit, Virgo. I'm visiting some family for a little bit here. So, I thought you were getting too comfortable, so I had to shake things up on you. But with this spread, I'm going to be pulling 10 cards, and I'll be doing clarifications as need be. And of course, a good old surprise card at the end, Virgo, so don't you worry. And in case y'all were curious, I'm busting out the OG deck, Aleister Crowley Stealth deck. I know that was a lot. And I will include a link for this deck and other decks that I like using down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested, Virgo. But let's go ahead and get into your first card here, which is going to represent the current situation. So, Higher Self, what's the current situation looking like for Virgo? Let's see what you've been cooking up in business, Virgo. Okay. Virgo! It's you! The Hermit. So, okay. That's not very hermit of me. But listen, Virgo, I'm excited because I feel like the current situation is that we're getting it together, one, and we're learning ourselves. You know, maybe you're figuring out some of you, we're getting this groove here, and I hope you're as excited as I was there, because I feel like maybe some of you have been thinking about maybe you've had something kind of cooking up there for a little while, and we're getting ready to expose this thing, because the Hermit is the type of, like, we've been sitting kind of in preparation, maybe we've been learning some new skills, maybe taking some courses, maybe you're going for that, maybe we're starting up something brand fresh, maybe we're getting ready to, maybe we've had like an opening maybe at, let's say, a company that you're working at, maybe you're thinking about becoming supervisor, manager, CEO, well, as big as you want, Virgo, but, I feel like the situation right now, at least for some, we've been in kind of this hermit state for a while, and we're getting ready to show the wisdom, getting ready to reveal that sunshine that you've been kind of working on here, which is dope, because look, Cerberus is happy to see it, so, everybody else, I'm sure, is just geeked up. And maybe for some others, maybe we're at this place right now is maybe we've been sort of, I don't want to say, maybe kind of lost, maybe we're not sure, maybe we've been feeling kind of maybe in a rut lately, or just that questioning, is this really like questioning our kind of like our purpose, it's like, is this really how I want to be spending my time, is this where I thought I'd see myself in, however many amount of years, is there any way that I can make this thing better, and Virgo, this is cool, because I feel like if we're focusing on ourselves, like, it's amazing what can happen, because the tendency that I've noticed with Virgos is that we're really good, and this is not a bad thing, I feel like you're really good at kind of like really picking out people's stuff here and improving that, it's like, hey, you're doing this thing, but you realize there's a better way to do that, right? And and then it's in improving that. But Virgo, I feel like sometimes in the efforts of doing that sometimes we forget about focusing on ourselves here, and I'm living to you right now, Virgo. And I just think that if you were to take that same amount of energy, working on others, and to work on yourselves, and imagine how you already know how incredible you are, but then really kind of crank that up to the max, you know what I mean? And then watch, I feel like people will follow, it just all sort of works itself out there for you. So, I feel like for some of us, the focus, for just for some others, I think that focus there will be, really kind of maybe going within, maybe we sort of just been, yeah, just been feeling just like just lack of fulfillment. So that is definitely a good time to get into some meditation when you get into a chance. When this is when I'm recording this, we're getting into this like the new super moon in Aquarius. So if we're thinking about maybe cooking up some good some ideas, think outside of the box. Really kind of push the envelope, because where the energy is really, it's ripe with it. It's that time. Really, I feel like now going forward, indefinitely, there's going to be it's going to be expansion just like crazy here. So find yourself in this thing, so that when it's time for you to shine, it's going to be a whole new world that's going to be popping up here, Virgo. So that's dope. Great start. I'm with that. Let's get to your second card here. Yeah, we're I see you, Virgo. The second card is going to be your current challenge. So higher self, what could possibly be a challenge for Virgo? Because Virgo came prepared today. We're thinking, we're meditating. Look at you, Virgo. Oh, look at you, Virgo. I'm kidding, sort of. You got the Princess of Swords here. And Virgo, this is kind of where I was talking about, where I feel like sometimes Virgos, just sun, moon, rising, it's a tendency that sometimes we can get where I feel like we're always so, I feel like, kind of focused, like thinking in the sense of like how can we improve everything else instead of focusing on within, you know what I mean? And I feel like for some of you, it's again, with this Princess of Swords, it's her whole background is really crazy, but you don't see anybody else in here. I feel like this is just her creating this madness here. In Virgo, I think I've had told you this before, but I remember that meme, from this TikTok that I watched, where it's just like, Virgo's like, Virgo be like, I love that. But Virgo be like, you can't tell me anything bad about myself that I haven't told myself 10 times over. In Virgo, I feel like that's sometimes that's a chaos that we can create in our heads, because when I think of swords, that has to do with intellectual matters. So I feel like some of us, it may be time to kind of get out of our head and kind of focus within, or kind of analyze, why are we feeling that we need to improve everybody else, like, and when we're not balanced, you know what I mean? If it's one thing, it's one thing, if we've been doing this stuff here, if we're feeling balanced, Virgo, you really do some incredible work here, because I'm pretty good friends with a lot of people with some Virgos in their placements, and you really can do some just exceptional stuff here. But I really feel like it would benefit you, again, to just start with you, and then watch how that domino effects happen. Everyone else is going to kind of respond to kind, because they're like, oh, look at Virgo doing their thing. I want to be like Virgo. Virgo, how do I be like you? And then instead of you going to them and always being like, hey, why don't you do this? Hey, why don't you do this? Well, why don't you, you could do this. They're going to be like, hey, Virgo, I see that I love how you do this thing. How do you do that? They're coming to you, and now the energy is working. It's working with the energy. We're not trying to force this thing on other people here. So just something to think about. I feel like the Princess of Swords is a type, she just kind of creates her own chaos here. And we just kind of want to not ignore this stuff, but just kind of like let those thoughts kind of float around here. Maybe find when you get some time, maybe when you can hermit, to maybe detach if we live in like a big city, maybe try to get to a quiet place if you have a chance, maybe go for a walk in nature, something along those lines, so that your head can maybe kind of just kind of clear out, maybe do some deep breathing, something to get you very zen, Virgo, because that's if we're in this place of where it's just like, we're trying to fix everybody else, we're taking on all this stuff, we're not focusing on our own thing, that's going to affect your business, because we're ignoring our stuff here. And eventually, I think I was telling I just told Taurus this, if we're not focusing on the stuff within here, it's eventually higher self is going to have this where it's like, okay, Virgo, you're not listening to my internal warning, so or signal, so now we gotta we're gonna pop some stuff out here in the physical realm here, and stuff, we're gonna make you face this thing here. And it's not higher self trying to scare you, so don't panic, Virgo, but it is getting you so that we can grow, so that we can get that divine inspiration, that introspection there. So I think I'm gonna leave that there. Let's get to your third card. which is going to be where you can find some, we can maybe find some assistance with this energy. So higher self, what are some ways that, oi, don't throw things, Virgo. What are some ways that Virgo can kind of find help with this energy here? Let's see, what are some ways that you can get the most out of this stuff here, Virgo? Let's see what's going on there. Oi. Interesting. You got the moon here, Virgo. And I feel like where you're going to find some help is really kind of seeing through when you, so Virgo, because I know when I feel like when Virgos are going to offer advice or something like that, or ways to do things better, you know, I know that your heart is in the right place, but sometimes I feel like maybe it can come across, maybe we're telling ourselves that if we're, you know, if we're, how do I want to put this, Virgo? Because I feel like there's something like I just feel like, you know, the way we've been operating, you know, if we've been in this kind of place of where it's like it's been maybe our internal world has been feeling a little chaotic. Because here's the thing, Virgo, too, you know, the sign Virgo in the house that you have, the 6th house, you know, it has to deal with like health and the harvest and all of that stuff here. But sometimes I've noticed too that you know, Virgos can, that stuff, if we're neglecting things, or, you know, if we're telling ourselves that, you know, internally we're fine, but we, you know, we're, you know, it might be an illusion, you know, we may have stuff that we're dealing with, it can manifest in, like, it can come out as, like, health things and stuff like that. So I'm just wondering if when we're going to help someone else, if we're thinking of this as a way of, like a, I'm not sure if I have the words for this, Virgo. Like if we help someone else, you know, it's kind of like helping ourselves, and in a way it is, but it just higher self. I'm gonna get some clarification on this. Hold on, Virgo, before I because that's an interesting one. Higher self. Can we clarify the moon, please? Let's get a little bit more on that, Virgo, before I kind of really get into that, because that's yeah, that's interesting there with this moon card. Let's see what's going on with that. Okay. You got the 8 of Swords here, Virgo. So I feel like whatever it is that if there's something wrong, Virgo, I feel like with maybe if, and I feel like in the sense of like, because I know we're talking about business, but your state of mind really affects your business. And if we're in a place of where we're maybe like, I don't want to say like you're lying to yourself, but we're trying to like deceive ourselves that like everything is fine, you know, I got this thing, you know, maybe we're the type we feel like, you know, let's say if you're a manager, for example, you know, you're trying to like, well, no one knows how to do anything right, you know, I'm just going to take this on myself, you know, just sit back, you know, you're all fired, you know, it's like, but it's just like I feel like that's stemming from something that's going on internally here. You know, when we try to take stuff on, or we feel like people aren't going to have our backs, or you know that they can't deliver to the same rate as they do. Because Virgo, if that's the case, then it's like, why do we keep them around them? You know, and I hope that this is making sense, because it's kind of some weird energy here. But I feel like it's something that maybe the way we're operating right now in this business here is starting to we're not leaving our stuff at the door, let's say, you know, when we're getting to our business here. And I feel like it may be time to address that, you know, because it's going to get to a place eventually where it could affect your business, you know, whether you're owning your own one or if you're working someplace, you know. If we're not managing here, you know, that it's the things just get weird, Virgo. So I feel like when you may be the type that's like, oh, I don't have enough time to carve out, you know, to be with myself because I'm so busy doing stuff with everyone else. Well, Virgo, it may be time to delegate, because you were the current situation here, so you need to be the focus right now. And I feel like that's I'm gonna put you right there, Virgo. This has been like a thing I've been doing here lately. I'm just gonna put you right there, Virgo, because that's where we need to focus on. We need to figure out what's going on within, because again, eventually all this stuff here is going to permeate in your world, and there'll be lessons in there, but it's going to be an interesting one, to say for sure. And it may not be the one that it may not be the most desirable way to get this wisdom that you're trying to attain here. So I hope that makes sense, but it's just something to think about, Virgo. So let's get to your listen, I see how well that's going to work. Bam. So higher self, What are some, next card is going to be some long-term gains, Virgo. So higher self, what are some long-term gains for Virgo? Let's see, let's see what's going on there, Virgo. You know, hopefully, you know, now we've taken this time, we've been thinking about some things, you know, we've been trying to delegate. Let's see, boy, I'm just throwing stuff all over the place, Virgo. Hold on. Oh, yeah? Okay. Interesting. You got the Six of Cups here, Virgo. And I feel like with the Six of Cups popping up, this is good. You know, I feel like we're going to get into this place where we can finally relax and, you know, really kind of enjoy ourselves, you know, and really kind of take some relief in the fact that there's some growth that's happened here with the Six of Cups energy. You know, this is a card of like pleasure and a card of recreation. So I feel like, you know, maybe some long-term gains too, you know, might be maybe like, you know, carving out some self-care time, you know, maybe making this like a trend, you know, if this is not something, you know, that, because it's going to be a process, Virgo. So I just feel like, you know, if we've just been sort of just like go all the time, take a break, you know, kick back, you know, if you, let's say if you own your own business or something like that, you know, or you're managing whatever, you know, you're in a place where you're you know what I mean, Virgo. Find someone who can kind of just take control of things for a little bit, because I feel like one, that's going to give you in a place of where you can trust people, one, you know, or at least get into that practice, and then two is going to give you into a place that you can just kind of focus on yourself and kind of check out for a second and just really be in the moment, you know, and not worrying about, you know, having to take care of everybody else, or, you know, trying to improve or feel like, you know, no one else can handle this thing. You know, I feel like it really could be a win-win situation, but it's just going to be something that it's like getting into the practice of taking that time, you know, because sometimes I feel like we can get into this place of like, oh, well, I don't have enough time, you know, I'm always busy, I'm, you know, this and that, and it's like, Virgo, there's always time. Like, you know, it's like I hear you, but there's always time, you know. It's just, do we want to carve out the time for it or not? That's the real question. You got to be honest with yourself, and if we're not doing that thing, then let's find some ways to do that stuff, you know, because I feel like we got to find the balance. We got to work smart and we got to play smart. So let's do that, Virgo. Let's get to your fifth card here, which is going to be some short-term gains, because I feel like it's like, oh, I got to think about this in the future. Well, what about right now? I got you, Virgo. Higher self. What are some short-term gains that Virgo can expect at this time? Let's see what we can expect in the immediate future here. Nice, love it. Two of Cups. Love it. I promise I didn't plan that. But some short-term gains, Virgo. You know, I feel like, you know, that here's that balance. You know, because at least, you know, when we start, I feel like once you have shed a light on this thing, you know, and realize, you know, whatever this problem is, Virgo, you know, whatever it is that's kind of maybe gotten you in a funk here, you know, that's kind of thrown you off your groove, you know, once you, because here's the thing, now you've seen, this is energy that you've brought me here, Virgo, so it's like you've seen it, I've seen it, and now let's start healing from this stuff here. Let's start embodying the best version of yourself. Let's get to that mogul state here, but it's only going to come, you know, when we get to this, once we get this balance place, you know, when we accept the fact that there's no harmony here, then we can kind of go from within, because this is Mercury in Cancer, and when I think about that, that is such nurturing energy here, because Venus is represented by the Empress in every deck. And, you know, when I think about, if you've been with me before, I love the Empress. Separate story. But she's one of my cards of self-care, you know, of really kind of taking care of yourself and really becoming like, and this is like my card of like becoming one with your higher self, you know, really kind of digging in, finding out who Virgo is, what fulfills Virgo. And then when you get yourself centered here, look at because I like to say with the Two of Cups, this one is you. When we get balanced here, then everything else, like how I was saying, you know, instead of you going out to people will come to you, because they're going to see your lovely ocean that you've painted over here, and they're going to see how you've self-cared and how you've embodied the best version of yourself. And they're going to be like, Virgo, how do you do that? And then it becomes an exciting thing, because now it's like we're not operating from a place where we're trying to heal heal ourselves through others. We're healed, and now we can heal people from a healed place. You know what I mean? Because if you're healing from a hurt place, sure, we're going to get some things done, but then too, it might get you to this place as well that, if this person gets better real fast, it's like, oh, well, thanks, Virgo. And then, like, what happens when you fix everyone? You're only left with you, Virgo. So at the end of the day, you're still going to have to be with yourself. And this shouldn't be a thing where we fear that thing. It should be a place where we love being with ourselves, and show yourself some compassion and some kindness to this thing, Virgo, because there's this is solid. This is really good. I feel like long and short term. There's some good balance here, but I just feel like it's one of those. I feel like it's a hard thing. I can see where, even when I would talk with, I was just having a discussion with a Virgo friend, a couple weeks back, and it was like, I would talk about something, and then they would kind of sort of talk about maybe their let's say, for example, their partner, or maybe someone they were working with, but then it's just like, well, Virgo, but what about you? And it's just like, what do you mean? And it was very interesting to observe. It's like it wasn't even aware that they were doing it. It just like we started talking about them, and it instantly, maybe a couple minutes in, went to everyone else, and it's just like, Virgo, not talking about that. We're talking about you right now, and Virgo, we're still talking about you. So just keep that in mind. You know what? While we're talking about you, let's talk about your strengths here, Virgo. That's going to be the next card. So higher self. What's some strengths that are coming in for Virgo? Let's see. Let's see what strengths Virgo's working with, because I mean, Virgo, you really are incredible as an Earth sign, and you're adaptable, and I could just talk about that all day. But nice. Yes, absolutely. Two of Wands, because Virgo, this is it's one of those things, Virgo. Two of Wands is a card about taking action. It's about, like, really, it's Mars and Aries here, and that's, this is Mars is at home with Aries, and both of them are initiators in taking action. And every Virgo I know is like, as soon as they set their mind to something, done. And I mean, and it's crazy what they'll achieve. And it's just it's one of those things, like, I'm not sure if you really comprehend the gravity of what you can really accomplish if we just focus within, and that perfection that you're trying to bring out of everybody else, focus that on yourself, And two, Virgo, even when I think about the word perfect, that's going to be, don't let perfect be the enemy of excellent, or a great, or of good, or anything like that, because as long as it's a step towards your higher self or your future self, whatever that looks like for you, that's a win. And Virgo, that is a mad strength, and think too, because maybe you're like, maybe we're worried about what might come up, how we're going to deal with this stuff, as these emotions maybe pop up, as we're dealing with our business or whatever, Virgo. But you're a mutable sign, and Virgos, and to think too, when you would think about being an Earth sign and being a mutable sign on top of that adaptability, it almost reminds me of almost like sand in the sense, it's like, it's sand and mold. It's similar to water, it's very flexible. It goes. There's abundance of it, and when it's refined, it becomes that glass. And we it's, sand is valuable. You know what I mean? And you are valuable, Virgo. I hope that analogy makes sense. I don't know how much I actually know about sand, but for those of you who know about sand, correct me if I'm wrong. But you know what I mean, Virgo. There's excellence that you can achieve here, and it really is something great. It's just really tapping into that, and I really feel like Virgos are I can talk about that all day. Let's I think I said this during your last reading, Virgo. I have plenty of time to get you all geeked up. We don't have to get this kid. Let's take it in spurts here, because otherwise that's going to be the whole reading. It's just ego boost. We're not even going to talk about any type of specific topic. So let's get to, let's humble. Let's see where we can refine ourselves, Virgo. Let's focus. Let's do some more improvement here, because the next card is going to be some weaknesses that you might be working with. So higher self. What are some weaknesses that Virgo might be working with at this time, or how I like them? Strengths, waiting to be refined. So let's see what's going on there, Virgo. Yup. You got the Five of Swords here, Virgo. And this is where the Five of Swords is a card of defeat. It's a card of anxiety, a card of that you get into this place in your head. It's just like, well, there's no possible way that I can grow. But this is just for an example, that I could grow. So it's just like I'm just going to focus on others. I'm going to because this is Venus in Aquarius here, and I feel like it's really when you focus within, then everyone else is going to come to you, Virgo. It's going to be, I just feel like that's where Virgos would possibly benefit from, how utilizing their energies. And again, that's just my personal thing. Because Virgo, I get it, where we can kind of feel like it's, because Virgos too, I feel like another thing with Virgos is that you're really critical, and I mean, and not just of, I feel like not even so critical on others as you are on yourself. You know what I mean? That's not a dig at you, like that you're coming at people of others. I feel like that's because that's what you're. Or let me put it this way. If you're really hypercritical of others, I can't even imagine what it's like in your head. How you criticize yourself. So that's something, Virgo. If we're in this loop of where we're bringing ourselves down, we're trying to, where we're not raising our vibration, then again, Virgo, that's going to affect how this business is going to run here. If we're not in a good mental state here, how can we operate at our best? And it's something that it's going to have to be dealt with. And there's nothing wrong with realizing that. It's just like, it's getting into it's almost like you're trying to do like a life hack. You're rewiring your how you're thinking about yourself here, and it's going to take some time, and it's going to take some practice here. But maybe try some like positive affirmations or something along those lines, something that is just going to kind of uplift you, and be aggressive with it. Put sticky notes all over the place, get some posters, something along those lines. Whatever that would take to kind of get you on that right track there, because it's that's kind of tough, because I get where sometimes it feels like, man, it just feels like I'm not making any type of progress here. It's just like, gosh, like, God, you did it again, Virgo, like, what's wrong with you? You're like so stupid. You see what happens, and we get in that spiral, and then becomes a whole thing, Virgo. Let's break that trend. Let's break the mold here, because really, Virgo, you have the potential to achieve like for example, I knew someone who, when they had started off in one field, and they wanted to change. They weren't happy where they were. The business was cool, but the stability wasn't quite where they wanted to be. And they completely, when they had made the decision to change, and then decided where they wanted to change, they devoted themselves to it wholeheartedly, put it all in there, and then got their happiness. And it was incredible to watch. I mean, it's really something to marvel at. But it was that mentality. It was one of those things that they could have stayed in this mindset of like, oh, well, this is just where I'm going to be. This is how my skills is. This is the business that I can't possibly, maybe even start my own thing, or, I'll never climb that ladder or whatever, let me manage up instead or something like that. You know what I mean? But now, Virgo, if we could just kind of shift the paradigm a little bit, I just feel like it would really benefit you. So let's keep it moving. Let's get to your 8th card, which is going to be what to focus on in the present. So, higher self. What can Virgo focus on in the present right now? Let's see, what are some things that Virgo can focus on. Nice. You got the 7 of Wands here, Virgo. And Virgo, I feel like it's focusing on while you're going through this thing, because really, I know we're talking about business, but I feel like it's, when it comes to your business, I don't think it's the focus is not how you're managing this thing. I feel like it's how you're going about, how your self growth is going through this whole thing. I feel like maybe we're not appreciating the little wins when we've improved, and I'd say we being you, Virgo. Because the 7 of Wands, it is a card of that. We've been going through some struggles here, but we persevere, and then we get those wins. We get right back up and try this stuff again, because I get where facing your own self can be a lot. And Virgo, take it in chunks, take it how you need be. But when let's say if we set like a goal for X date, and we get to that date and maybe we didn't quite hit our mark, don't beat yourself up about hitting that mark. Appreciate that think about where you were before you started that thing and where you're at now. You've leveled up, and it doesn't matter. You've leveled up. It may not be you might have been shooting for level 20, but you hit level 15. Hey, that's 15 levels. Fantastic. And then now we can adjust again. Okay, it's like maybe set a 20. Okay, let's aim it for 30. And then when you hit that 30 mark, okay, let's up it a little bit. Let's aim for 50. You know what I mean? And then it becomes like, and then make it a game, Virgo. However it is. And then watch. Just everything is going to start lining up here. I feel like maybe we'll get into this place of where we'll feel more ambitious, because sometimes, I feel like when we get into this place of like where we're overcritical of ourselves, we really do kind of sell ourselves short. And then we end up and instead of, if we're ignoring ourselves and building everybody else up, we're watching everyone else's success up, and then they're like leaving us behind. And it's like, Virgo, you can be right there with them. It's just you got to focus on you and doing that thing. So and another thing too, Virgo, because in this the Six of Wands in this deck is set up similarly to how these wands behind this main one are set up. But like what I like to talk about this thing is the only way, because the Six of Wands in this deck has to deal with victory and love and getting to that big win that you're looking for. But in order to do that, Virgo, you see this middle wand here? That's you. You just got to get out of your own way, because when we stand in our way, we have all this energy here that's ready to help you grow, but we're expending it weird. Let's get your big win, Virgo. It's your time now, and there's nothing, maybe some people might be thinking that might be kind of selfish, like maybe focusing on myself. I'm like, Virgo, be selfish, because again, you can't help anybody if you're not in a good place here. You can't elevate or grow or anything like that, again, if we're ignoring our stuff here. It's about rising up. And I know you can. I absolutely know you can. It's just knowing that you can. That's the thing. It's all about you. And again, I know that might feel uncomfortable, but that's going to be the new reality, Virgo. It's all about you right now, because you got some good work to do, but we got to start within. Let's get to your ninth card, which is going to be what to focus on in the future. So, higher self, what is it that Virgo can focus on in the future? Let's see what's going on there, Virgo. Because yeah, this is I've enjoyed this reading, Virgo. I think this is really solid. So let's see what's going on there. Look at you. Ace of Cups. What fulfills you, Virgo? That's because I feel like, once we start to focus on this healing here, then we can start thinking broader. We can start thinking expansive here. We can start just because I think that sometimes too, like how I was saying, where we don't focus on ourselves, I feel like we limit our potential here. And it's not to say that you're going to miss out on opportunities, Virgo, but the opportunities aren't going to come until the healing starts going down. This Ace of Cups is always waiting for you, Virgo. It's just, when are you ready to go claim it? That's the thing, and we need to take the steps for that kind of stuff here. Because I want this for you, Virgo, and I know that deep down there has to be a part of you that wants this thing too, and it's just realizing, what do we have to take, and again, be compassionate with yourself and take the time that you need. This is not something that, I expect you to get solved overnight. We have a whole month, let this month, let's set a marker, and then when we meet back again for this business spread, let's see where we're at, because, I expect to see Virgo, because Virgo, you really do, and this may sound a little dramatic, but you really do have a way of I really feel like you have a way that you can elevate people. It's even because even when I think about when I've had Virgos recommend me stuff and I've tried things, it may not have been something that has been my jam, but I accomplished things in a way that I didn't expect, and that was because of the motivation that Virgo provides. There's like, okay, well, that doesn't work for you. Have you tried doing it this way? Oh no, that didn't work for you. Let's try doing it this way. Okay, that didn't work for you. Let's try doing it this way. It's just like Virgo's minds are just it's flexible. It's just like, okay, well, let's manifest another way, and it's super quick too. It's just like it's easy for you, but it's just realizing that and honing that skill, Virgo, because There's, every zodiac sign has, their own kind of thing, but Virgo, that's a skill. I get chills just even thinking about it. It's insane, and I'm getting like now. I'm just your potential. I'm geeked up right now. Virgo, let's get to your last card, which is going to be some opportunities here. So, higher self, what are some opportunities coming in for Virgo? Like it's let's bring this thing home, Virgo, because you got some good work that I feel like that you need to get done. Absolutely. Hangman, hold up, Virgo. Let's talk about this Hangman real quick. The Hanged Man. Okay, that was a little aggressive. The Hanged Man is kind of, the Hanged Man is redemption through sacrifice. This is being new perspectives. It's one of those things. It's just like if we've been operating for some way for a long time. It's like a certain way that hasn't been working. This is higher self. Just like this is the kindest way that higher self can be. Like next thing up would be like a tower moment. But the Hanged Man is just like Virgo. And look at this Hanged Man tower moment here. How we're operating, I feel like needs to change. There's a fresh perspective that can come from this thing, but it's just really sitting down and figuring out, what that is. How can we get out of this stuck place here? How can we get it to where we don't feel like we're not growing? Where we feels like where everyone else is growing. And you might even think too, maybe some of us might think, when we help these people, it's just like, well, okay, well, thanks, Virgo. And it's just like, well, what the F? That was those people are ungrateful. I did all this work for them, but Virgo, and then it turns into this weird kind of thing of like our intentions get kind of foggy too. I hope that made sense. But Virgo, there is good stuff coming here, and I say this all the time to you. There's good stuff coming, but it's just I think it would really benefit you, because I wouldn't tell you what to do, and and it doesn't matter what time or however long this takes, Virgo. You're not in this alone. I'm gonna kick it with you as long as this takes. I will hang right up there with you. Well, I might like lean on the side here, because blood rushing to your head for a while, that might get a little exhausted. I'm getting silly, but Virgo, I'm gonna kick it with you, and know that you're not alone in this thing. I'm gonna keep coming back each week. We're gonna keep raising that vibration until we get it to where you're out there and doing your own thing. Because really, Virgo, you could do some world-changing stuff here. And I'm not, it may sound like an over-exaggeration, but it's only as silly as you want it to be. So I'll leave that there, Virgo. Quite a lengthy one, but I feel like this was I personally enjoyed this. I hope you did too. So if you did, give it a thumbs up. Virgo, if you and your other Virgo friends, feel like you might resonate with this thing, share this with each other, and then let's maybe discuss that. What is that? Figure out what causes that, because I feel like that's just what happens, when we're more focused on outside than inside. That's an unbalanced Virgo, and there's something like, what is it that's got you feeling imbalanced? So definitely, share this thing, let's raise that vibration, subscribe, hit that bell button. You'll get notified when I release videos each week. I'm getting better about being all up on Facebook. And then lastly, if you have any Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever, check out my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday. We discuss lunar shenanigans, and all of that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get you a surprise card so I can get you out of here, Virgo. You got the Nine of Swords here, Virgo, and this is a I feel like this is a good thing to end on, because that even got me a little bit, because I feel like this is where, because again, when I think about how maybe overcritical Virgos can be, I can't even imagine what's going on up in here sometimes. When we get in that spiral there, sometimes, because it happens from time to time. It just happens. But the thing with the Nine of Swords is, it always starts with one thought. And then when we realize that we get into our doubt, this sword calls all 8 of his friends. And it's just like, yo, Virgo's throwing a party. And then they all want to drink here, Virgo. They're taking blood here, But it's one of those things that, you could either see the stuff as like, if you're like, well, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not, I wish I could do this better, I want to do blah 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 better. Virgo, that's perfect. Write all that stuff down, because then there are all the things that you need to work on right there, and then let's pick the one that makes the most sense. Close the book on the other ones, and then when you're ready to tackle them again, tackle them. That this is going to be a process. I don't expect you to get this solved overnight. Again, we have a whole month, so before we do the next business spread, I'm sure we're going to be doing all kinds of check-ins along the way here. But I feel like once you get your mind right, Virgo, the things that you can accomplish in business and in life are going to be insane. But it's just remembering that potential that you have there. So I think I'm gonna leave that there, because I'll keep you here all day. So stay safe out there, Virgo, and you keep raising. You know what? Don't worry about other people's vibration. Raise your vibration, Virgo, first. I know how that sounds, but I feel like Virgos are, I really feel like it would benefit you focusing on there. I'm gonna hold you up, and I'm gonna help you raise the vibration, and you just focus on yourself right now, okay? And then I will catch you on the next one later.